it's 5:30 from Spill Your Mountain Dew Studios live here in beautiful Fleming Island, Florida. It's the Boogie with the Bull Uncensored Friday Free-For-All with me, Jen, the homeschooling mom, Woodworth. Woodworth was the guy who wrote that story that brought down President Nixon. But
right.
We'll talk about him later. Joining us also, Randy, the genealogist Rhodes, is here.
Hey.
This portion of Boogie with the Bull Uncensored, the Friday Free For All, is brought to you by the fine folks over there at All Roads Lead to Home Genealogy. And as I have said before, this is not one of those where it's like, I get something for telling you to use. Randy did mine, found great information. I later got mad at him and told him to delete it all, not because of what he found, but I just got mad at him and told him to delete it. But Randy puts a lot of work into it. He's got umpteen million ancestry-type networks that he is on, puts his heart and soul into it, works hard at it. In 15 minutes, he can tell you that you want him to continue. Yep, you want him to continue. I think he told Jen he's related to royalty. I think you found out mine. I'm related to Mark Zuckerberg royalty, which was insulting, but or that we're both Jewish. Anyway, good afternoon, Randy. Good afternoon, Jen. Everybody say good morning, good evening, good night, whatever it is, and
happy.
I don't know if you saw, but Jerry of the American Rebellion just found his one ancestor was the King of Jerusalem.
Alec Baldwin II.
Yep.
Wow. I thought he was Henry VIII. He was related to
He's that too. I mean,
wow.
When I saw that, I thought, the King of Jerusalem. I had to do some fact checking, but it turned out right, and it's mentioned in the Bible. So I told Jerry, if I keep looking, I'll get back to Moses for him.
That was no, I forgot what I was going to say. That Pulitzer Prize was right there. So when was Alec Baldwin II? No, Baldwin II. When was he the king of Jerusalem? Or is he the current king of Jerusalem?
Hang on a second. I will get that for you in a second. Let me change some screens here.
So he's Jewish. I wonder if that means at some point we're related to each other.
Hey, we're all related to one another.
Because if you're Jewish, you're automatically an Israeli citizen. At least that's what they used to say. I don't know if it's true anymore.
Do you know whose line you came from, Dave?
My mother and my father's?
No, like the 12 tribes. I got that one. No, the 12 tribes of Israel. Do you know which one you're related to?
I honestly don't. Randy, I honestly don't.
So Baldwin II, King of Jerusalem, was born in 1058, and he died 1131 in Jerusalem in battle. And the weird thing is that there's this guy who follows me, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he saw my post about Jerry, and he said that his ancestor fought for the other side and battled against the King of Jerusalem.
Oh,
wow!
It's a small world.
Well, didn't I have the 40 talking points on my desk that I pull up all the time. That basically says that the King of England, and it doesn't say which one, but we'll be able to figure it out easy, financed the war.
Yeah.
Financed the war. So he, so we're fighting against him, but he financed the whole war. So how did he lose?
Well, I mean, Jerry and I are on as far as my working on his genealogy, I work on it as I have free time.
Yep.
because he's not, a paying client. So I have 5 or 15 minutes to, work on his stuff. But if I want to do a deep dive, I would have to do that. But, one thing I found out about the Jewish nation, the Jews in particular, is if they don't listen to God and do as God tells them to do, God slaps them in the face and says, you're going back, 100 years because you didn't do what I told you to do. I mean, it's possible he went to battle, the king of Jerusalem went to battle without, talking to the prophets, getting their prayers and their blessings and things like that. I don't know. But history tells us that when the Jews listen to God, God's on their side, and they can do whatever they want. I mean, my biblical history is not too good. Wasn't there like one of the kings of Israel was going to go into battle with thousands of soldiers, and God said, "No, you don't need thousands to go against you. Go into combat. You just need this number." And said, "Well, how about this number?" No, you need less. And by the time you finally went into battle, you only had a couple hundred soldiers going against thousands of his enemy. And because God was with them, God kicked ass, and he won the day. But then when the Jews went into combat and did go to the prophets first, get their blessings, get God's blessings, they lost and they went into captivity for 1,000 years. So
there was one battle, I can't remember what it was, but I guess maybe the battleground was lower than where the palace or whatever of the opposing army was. And what they did was they went in and they built like 1,000 little wood huts that the soldiers would live in until they went into battle. But they didn't have 1,000. They had built so many of them, I guess, so that when the king and his military people looked down, they said,
"We're outnumbered."
We're outnumbered. So they gave up.
Yeah.
But I've always believed God's 10 Commandments to sort of be, well, not really sort of be, but it's along the roads of here are my 10 rules that are my way or the highway. And it's kind of a two-way street. God came to the Jews, Moses, and said, I will get you out of Egyptian bondage as long as you agree to make me your God and you follow my rules, and I will protect you. And that's what he did. And,
right.
But then that brings up times in history. Why did 6 million people die in Nazi gas chambers? And I'm assuming that God will tell me at some point, well, there was some reason, and you don't need to think of it as he killed 6 million Jews. He helped 6 million Jews get home.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it. He didn't kill them. Hitler did. Hitler's
right.
But God allowed it to happen.
He let it happen.
You can't. I've always said that you can question how someone on Earth dies and why they die the way they did, but I guess the only one that will ever be able to tell you that reason will be God, because I believe that. I guess I believe more that I'm a creationist more than anything else, and that I believe God created this big thing called Earth, and then had to decide what it was going to be, what it was going to do, or he had this idea of what he was going to do. So he created the Earth. Then he created what was going to inhabit it. Because I always say that I think we're here for God's entertainment value more than anything else. But I don't know.
God works in mysterious ways. I keep saying to my wife, I keep screaming at my computer screen, my TV screen when I see the stupid shit that's going on in the politics. And my wife said, well, God's in control. I said, well, if God's in control, what the hell is he waiting for, But But at the same time, I know that biblically, the United States is not mentioned in the end times. It is speculated that that the United States, when the final bells ring, the United States is nowhere to be found in the battle, in the Middle East to protect Israel and to go against Russia and China.
But could that be that maybe we're already there?
No,
I think we're already defeated.
Spirit, or maybe we don't need to be involved in it in some point. I mean, personally, I don't understand why we're still here anymore. 2+ years after Biden, we're printing money. We're printing money to give to Ukraine. And we're spending, it's negative because we have to buy the paper to print the money on, pay the people to print the money, or cut it, watch the machine. It's all automated, but someone's got to watch it to make sure it doesn't get screwed up. So we're paying people to make money that is worth less than, it's worth nothing. And we're giving it to a country that is using it to support themselves and buy arms from us, I guess, and whatever. But why? Then, like I said, I read the post the other day. I was telling Jen about it earlier. Or no, I heard Kevin McCarthy in the House give a speech that said President Biden wants to give 1.7 million illegal immigrants in this country $435,000 for a fresh start here in America. And how he's going to pay it back is taxes are going to go up on everybody who makes $75,000 a year or less. And we're going to be some of us, I don't know when it will be paid back, will be paying back 735 trillion, $500 million plus interest. Because I'm sure that number that I just gave is just the gross money going out. And now I keep seeing everything on Facebook every day. Does he not understand that the money he's giving Ukraine, we don't have? This 735.
He'll just make more.
But it's not worth anything.
I know. He's stupid.
And if anything, it's diluting the wealth that we
actually have.
Well, the wealth that we actually have, but it's diluting the wealth that the wealthy elitists have. They say Elon Musk is worth like $250 billion. Well, but if the United States of America is bankrupt, Tesla's bankrupt, obviously. SpaceX is bankrupt, obviously. Twitter's bankrupt, obviously.
Hopefully he put it in gold.
Well, a lot of stuff that's going over to Ukraine is in material wealth. It's the weaponry and so forth. So I mean, he's getting cash, obviously, because I'm sure his soldiers aren't fighting the battle, waiting for that payday to come once the war is over. But at the same time, the last I heard, he's in Finland hiding in some bunker. Because of what his idiot military did by trying to, assassinate Putin. Everything I've seen recently has been shown that Russia's about ready to kick some ass and bring in the big guns, and that Ukraine is running out of bullets, running out of missiles, running out of planes because they're just throwing the shit away. Personally, I think Zelensky is hiding along with all the money he took from us, the cash, okay? And he realizes that the writing's on the wall, and, Russia's going to finally win and take over all Ukraine.
But that money's going to end up in Putin's pocket because he's going to try Zelensky for war crimes. Either that, or I think, I'm sorry I cut you off, I think that Putin will get custody of Zelensky, who will send him. I can see Putin having Zelensky and wanting the United States to do a prisoner swap. George Soros, who has massive warrants for financial crimes against the Russian people, for Zelensky. And Congress is going to want Zelensky in America to tell him where the money is.
Or at least where all the chemical warfare plants are and so forth that Biden's been hiding. But Dave, I've been saying this for years, off and on your show, that the Democrats, they seem to be Teflon coated or protected with a force shield or something. But right now, they're doing whatever the hell they want, and they're not being held responsible. I mean, I keep hearing how, Hunter is going to face prison time for tax evasion and blah, 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 blah. And no, he's not. Because, I think if it comes down to it, if Hunter is facing prison time for his stupidity, he's going to turn the secrets on good old daddy and tell the world what we already know, but we just don't have the actual final proof to put him away.
I don't think they'll put Biden away.
Joe will pardon.
I don't think they'll. No. I believe I've heard that Democrats are reminding Joe that if Hunter is indicted through the House or whatever and tried and then sent to the Department of Justice because the House can't issue sentence, that if he wants to be president in 2024, he just has to let it go.
Wow.
Meaning that stay out of their way, because if Hunted thinks the only way he can avoid his back up against the wall or life at Gitmo is by dropping what he can on his dad, I don't think it's going to do him any good, because FBI cyber, regardless of who ran the FBI then or who runs it now, FBI cyber is the best cyber lab in the country and in the world. They all acknowledge this. They had that thing long enough to know and confirm what is on it. There's enough on it to evidently bury Hunter. Whether or not Hunter goes in and says, well, on top of burying me, there's enough to bury Big Guy and Mrs. Big Guy and
there's supposed to be 12 Bidens that are facing prison time, but I don't see it ever going to happen.
Well, it may or may not happen, only because my belief is that if Joe had decided that he was going to resign rather than face or resign just because maybe he is as crazy as they say he is. I'm not saying that he isn't, but just decides I've had enough. I don't want to do this anymore. And just resigns. Harris becomes president. I don't think we have to worry about that for very long, because if Trump will be the Republican nominee, there's no way Harris is going to win. And if Harris were to defeat Trump in 2024 and we have a Republican super Congress, the House and the Senate, she's going to be impeached. And she's going to come clean to keep herself from going up her back up against the wall. I just think, like I said, I just think what I have seemed to hear is that they want Hunter to be the fall guy, I think. Hoping that whatever he is indicted for and convicted from and whatever penalties happen, is enough to get him out of the way. But it looks like it's like stupid charges like they got finally against Trump. It's like lying on his
taxes,
lying on his gun permit about ever smoking marijuana. It's the same thing as Bill Clinton lying on his president application saying, well, I inhaled, I inhaled, but I didn't get stoned.
Oh my God.
You know, but Biden, actually, I think the funny thing is, and maybe the Democrats as well as the Republicans, all of what's on Hunter's laptop seems to be all of business that Hunter did outside of the United States of America. Nothing that he did inside of the United States. I mean, he and Frank had an investment company here in the States, but I don't really know whatever really happened with that. But, Hunter did things with the CCP, supposedly with Russia, supposedly with Ukraine. So there's enough to nail him. It all comes out in my head. I haven't yet decided whether or not Joe is as crazy as he is, or whether or not he's just a good actor. Because some people have said that, when the lights come on and the mics are off, and he knows the mics are off and the cameras aren't recording anything, people say to me, or what I read is people say he's as sane as anybody else. But when he's in front of the cameras, he plays this dumb act. But then you hear, well, maybe it's not even him. Maybe it's a body double, this, that, and the other thing. So I don't really know what to believe. What scares me more than anything these days, really, as my mind wanders from tangent to tangent, it's these 15-minute cities.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And it really isn't a city 15 minutes away from another city that scares me. It's what they're gonna build these ghettos, and you're gonna be stuck in that ghetto forever. And supposedly, I was watching one based on the whole idea that is actually in effect in China. They have one of these, quote, self-contained cities. There are different zones in that city where you basically have to, it said iPhone, but it could just be any phone, I'm sure, because iPhones are popular over there. Everybody has an iPhone. You have to put your iPhone up to the camera, and it does facial recognition. And if
Or retina, yeah.
Well, yeah, because the iPhone does retina recognition. But yeah, it proves that it's you before it lets you into a zone within the city that you live in.
Well, remember, it wasn't too long ago. I've been saying we are living in a freaking sci-fi movie. I mean, if you look at the sci-fi movies that have been made over the years, especially ones where this, alien type ones, especially where the aliens built these walls around, the surviving cities, and the humans live inside these cities, and they can't go from one city to another city like getting their asses,
Nazi Germany did it, the Warsaw Ghetto.
But Michael Anthony said that right across the river from where he lives, they're in the process right now of building a 15-minute city.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about the iPhone thing. Mike Alexander in Australia.
Jack Alexander. Yep. I was just going to say, yeah,
when he goes to a damn toilet, he has to scan his cell phone showing he's using the damn toilet.
But he was talking about I don't think it was actually a city. I think it was more along the lines of something like Gitmo. They were building within that it may actually be in the part of Australia where he lives.
Yeah, well, what he was saying was that they're being restricted to where they can go. And if he goes from one place to another, he has to scan his damn cell phone to show that he's moving around.
And Shannon said this earlier, but it's on another broadcast we did, but it's actually true. If you hold your cell phone up and say it's a business, it's a store or something, if they don't want you in there, you don't get in.
Yeah.
And I can see that coming to the United States. If they don't want you to grocery shop, and the only grocery store in your city is set up with that, you put your thing up, and you're not going to get in. It's like I can sell. Everybody knows that you sell stars on one of your pages with live chat, and people buy stars so that you see their comments, and that's how you monetize your content. PayPal is one of the options, but PayPal a while back was complaining if you did something they didn't like on social media, they were gonna zap you. So I'm trying to get a hold of my Facebook for Business page rep to ask them, hey, if you give me a Facebook prepaid Visa card or a MasterCard, or you give me a PayPal account, what's to stop you from, if I do something you don't like on a broadcast, you take all my money?
They'll just say exactly, because that's their plan.
And Facebook wants me to be here. Facebook wants me to be here. They don't spank me very often because they want me to be here to create content.
They feel sorry for you. I mean, I had a client. Her name, I'll just use her first name. First name is Mindy, but she's had to she's a Southern gal. I mean, she is Confederate. She's the battle flag. She is everything. Okay. But she's been spanked so many times, she's had to recreate her whole profile at least a dozen times because at some point someone says, oh, I don't like that flag, and she gets nailed, and they wipe out everything, all her pictures, her posts, her videos, completely wiped out, and she has to start from scratch.
I mean, no one should have the right, as far as I'm concerned, on any social media network that our broadcast are on. No, to do something stupid and say, I don't like the flag that Randy has behind his desk. I don't like the logo that Dave has on his coffee mug.
It's scary.
I tell people, I've said to a few people, as soon as Jen tells me where the vending machine is that the cups are going to be for sale on the internet, if you really don't like it, it's $15. It's $16. Get all your friends to buy one. Then let me know when you're going to do it. We'll broadcast it live as you smash every single one, or put it out in the backyard and treat it like a case of Bud Light.
We'll laugh at you wasting your money.
See, it's not that point. The point of it is that right now, with the people who are in charge, they are allowing an individual voice to say, I don't like that statue, right? And they make a phone call or an email. I don't like that statue. Every time I walk past that statue, I get offended. And they take the damn statue down. Not to say that there are thousands of people in that same damn town who are representative of that statue because it happened to be a Confederate general or whatever. But because that one person complained, boom, it's gone.
And we as Americans played into that when homeschooling mom started teaching us, I mean that respectfully, Jen, when Jen started teaching us about conservative CRT, critical race theory. And the only thing that I've learned through critical race theory is it's only critical on the races. Theory isn't being taught the way they wanted it to be taught.
Right.
You should not have a right hundreds of years later to go, we don't want the statue of Robert E. Lee in town anymore. It's been there for
100 at least.
It's been there, right. And then even if it's there, say the Lee family owns half the town. You're going to make them take down, you're going to make them take something down. To me, it's like, no, just move or go buy some land somewhere else.
I love it. Right.
15-minute city that doesn't have it.
Exactly.
Build your own Waco compound. Build your own compound.
Please do.
But see, it's just not that. History is history. There's no way of changing that. and what the Christian nations did to the Muslim nations. Some say it's biblical. Some say it was just some idiot king trying to gain whatever he could get out of the nation. But the Muslims are now kicking ass.
You can say the M word.
They are migrating across Europe and coming into the United States, but primarily in Europe. And they define a town and they clean it out of all the natural citizens of that town. They take it over. They create a little Muslim, and they get into politics. It's like here in the United States, in the White House is giving praise. You had all those Muslim mayors in the White House giving them praise. Guess what? They go from mayor to the next step, to next step, to next step, and they're going to get more control in the politics, and they're going to turn this nation into a Muslim nation, third world.
Well, didn't Minnesota do that when before Oman came around? Didn't they all? Omar. I mean, going back, is it Omar or is it Oman?
It's Omar.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well,
no, that's okay. I've been put in Facebook jail so many times because of that stupid white hat she wears that looks like a diaper. I said something inappropriate twice. I've been out for like a year and a half, but it's all good now.
I got to work with my favorite real news director of a radio station in San Francisco when I was the news director of the college station. I got to work with him one day, and he said, I tell every one of my news reporters or news anchors, make sure you spell it out phonetically so that you know how to pronounce it. Because if you mispronounce it, I look stupid. But I've been saying Oman for years, only because every time I think of her name, I think of Joe Biden saying, "Come on, man,
oh man."
But no, I mean that's what they did. You know, President Obama brought them in, and that's where they settled. And supposedly, I don't know if it's true or not, didn't they have a training camp there?
Yeah.
Or is it still there?
Yep. And the FBI is keeping an eye on them. I'm sure they are. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to all the illegals that are coming over to this country are coming over because at some point, you know, the Democrats are going to say, okay, guys, it's time to earn your living. Here's where we stored all our rifles for you. Get the rifles.
If Joe Biden has his way, they're not going to have to get a job because you're going to get one of those fancy CBDC cards with $435,000 for you and every member of your family that came in with you. You're not going to have to work.
Right.
And I'm thinking, I put it on a post today just because I'm so tired of thinking about this anymore. You know, we all did broadcast in the last year where everybody was saying when you were born, the government sold your birth certificate to somebody for $100 million. And that's how they financed the government. We're never going to get that $100 million back. So I said today, hey, you want to make me a sovereign citizen again? Give me $435,000 because that's what you're doing with illegal immigrants. You know, pretty soon I wake up every day and I wonder whether or not I'm going to get a letter from Social Security that says
sorry.
That says sorry, but you can't. Well, they could take SSDI away from me right now because they could say I'm sure there's some criteria that they could say that, you know, there are jobs that you can do and you can work and you can get paid, you can support yourself, but we're not going to have that discussion anyway. But I mean, it's more like they're putting everybody on support that comes across the border, and that's where the money's coming from. So I got a better idea. You want to give 1.7 million people $435,000, which is, for a lot of them is more than they're ever going to make in the time that they're here, then just do it for everybody. I mean, if the government wants to go out of business, then give every person living in this country whether they're an illegal immigrant or an American citizen, give us all $435,000, and I bet you we'll buy a government that works better.
Right. I want to ask you, Dave.
Yeah.
This weekend, there's a Jewish holiday. What is it? I don't know what it is, but there are big things happening this weekend.
I have
and
to,
the prophets
are
saying they're saying it's these key things that are happening at the same time. And to me, it sounds like a Bermuda Triangle, this stuff happening. And so what is the Jewish holiday?
To be honest with you, I really don't know, because my parents were both Orthodox Jews, but they didn't raise us as Orthodox. They raised us as either conservative or Reform, and it depended on the congregation, the temple where we lived, and we moved a lot. So
Passover is over, right?
Passover is done. Yeah,
that was like at Easter time. Is this Purim? Purim?
Could be Purim. All I remember from Purim is that we always had a carnival. At Sabbath school, there was always a carnival that weekend, because that's all I remember what it was.
Okay.
But I insult my relatives because I can't tell you what it was.
Well, it's okay. So today is a Mexican holiday. It's their Day of Independence, Cinco de Mayo. And then there's a Jewish holiday, I believe, happening now or sometime in the next 3 days. And then tomorrow is supposed to be the coronation of the Antichrist. I mean, oh my God. No, sorry. No, Charles. What was I talking about?
I've seen videos where he and Queen consort Camilla.
But it wasn't Orion. And they were on top of each other, and they were fighting.
Yes, I'm on live.
I'm sorry, but
did they like rent children too? I don't know. It's sick.
She walks around like this little old lady, and when there was a mother holding a child, and I guess she wanted Charles to, bless the child because he's the king.
Yeah.
He is hobbling along behind him, looking and go, oh. And the mother's kind of like, oh.
It gives you chills. I know. It's not right. Something's wrong there. It's not straight.
I don't think we'll ever know, because I am sure that whatever Charles knows ain't coming out of his mouth.
No. Oh, God.
And Andrew, I believe, was brought back in and restored to his royal prince by Charles. I don't know where Harry stands as far as being a prince, because they walked out, but I think Charles was trying to get him to
I gotta be honest with you, I don't know who started it. I just figured it was Belle.
To come back.
Like she always does.
Shh, we're eavesdropping. I am.
Well, then I'll just keep talking, and we won't be able to hear what's going on.
Yes, you keep talking.
I could actually there. Well, I should have done that anyway. I killed his mic because I only wanted to listen and see if they were yelling at me, because
I know
I'm not everybody's favorite broadcaster on Facebook. So
oh, that's fun.
I just want to know. But hey, out there watching is Mike Grant. Mike Grant is a certified weapons instructor and dealer in Dublin, California.
Awesome.
Which means that if you live in California, Mike can sell you a firearm, help you process your firearms permit, and you go from there. If you do not live in California, Mike can still, I believe, he can suggest a gun, he can sell you a gun, but it has to be delivered to a certified weapons instructor. Certified weapons dealer in the state that you live in. Go to the Bike Grant Facebook page, and as I always tell you, the profile picture looks like the old Galaxy 500s that they used to drive on the old FBI, the Quinn Martin production TV show, with Mike sitting there holding what looks like a Dirty Harry special in his hands. And Mike is a good guy. Mike put something about, look what's happening in San Francisco this weekend. Maybe Nancy Pelosi is going to be home, but and when we come to talking about, and Randy's mic back on, when we come to talking about San Francisco, I've been saying that there are reports that, well, I guess Dianne Feinstein announced at the end of this term she's stepping down. She's not going to run for re-election.
Oh,
So-
well, that's great.
So I'm figuring just before that happens, Representative Pelosi in the House will resign. And the reason that she will resign will be to run as the Democrat for Feinstein's old seat. She will get elected. If the Democrats keep the Senate in 2024, Nancy Pelosi will become the Senate Majority Leader, which is somewhat better than being the House Speaker, because being the Speaker of the House, you just control the money and where it goes. Being the Senate Majority Leader, you're one step below the President or the Vice President and the President, not in order of succession, but the President listens to the Vice President, who is the President of the Senate, and you as the Senate Majority Leader basically run the Senate. But I don't really know. Hey, who was your wife yelling at? Because I was listening and said you got to turn your mic off because they might be yelling about you.
Oh, no. Hold on a second. Let me show you. You see her?
No, you turned your camera off.
How did I do that?
We
How
see
did I
the
do that?
kids
Hang
on
on.
the car.
Oh, come on, I see it.
Welcome to the Randy Rhodes Show on the Dark Side Radio Network Project.
Okay, so you see her? Oops, where's she at?
There she is.
Okay, so
That's the one that usually runs behind your desk, right? Or
Correct.
across your desk.
correct. That's Belle, and she's almost all white. She's like 20 years old, and my daughter has a all black cat, pure black. Okay.
Yeah.
And of the 8 cats we have in our house, she cannot stand that black cat. And I guess she's racist. I don't know. The screaming was that even at 20 years of age, and she's lost a lot of muscle mass and weight over the past year, she hates that black cat. And when she sees him, she just, and that's what all the screaming was. My wife
The other night when you were sleeping, I got a Facebook message from your black cat. He wants to come on a broadcast and talk about BLCM. All black cats matter.
That's funny.
I'm freaked about black cats. I don't know if it's believing the superstitions that black cats are really witches or something like that, but it's like I see a black cat and I want to walk the opposite way. Although if you look at them, they're some of the most beautiful cats I think you'll ever see.
Yeah.
The problem.
Mystery about them.
The problem is this. I'll get up during the night to go to the bathroom, whatever, and of course the house is dark, and that cat will be in the hallway, right? The black cat in the hallway sleeping.
Yep.
And all you see, and when he opens up his eyes, are these yellow freaking light bulbs looking at you. You don't see anything else. You see a yellow light bulb.
That's scary.
That is scary. That's scary. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all you see. That's like
Oh.
holy shit, you know. But the thing is, the black cat, we have 2 males and 6 female cats, okay? And for some reason he thinks he is the
Alpha?
stud of
Cat's meow.
okay? And he has to be with all the females as far as like being friends. They're all fixed, so nothing can happen. But he can't understand why, of all the female cats, this white cat can't stand him. And even though he always runs or he'll cower, he won't fight back, right?
Oh, that's
And
funny.
she'll be nailing him like crazy. And
he takes it.
In fact, she nailed him one time. This is no lie. She nailed him one time, and we broke it up. We walked into our bathroom, and this is no lie, but God strike me dead. There was blood everywhere. I'm talking on the walls, the countertop, the mirror, the floor. I mean, it was like a bloodbath. And all I can think is which of these cats has a gash in it. And we finally found her, and here she lost a toenail. Okay.
Oh.
I have no idea where that claw got to, but when that claw came out, she was splattering blood everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
But that black cat will take it, and he'll go back to her, right? He can't understand why she won't be his friend.
Well, maybe he was trying to get back, because Delilah, every once in a while, will get stuck in a blanket on the bed.
Oh, that's funny.
And she can't get herself out. So she'll pull a nail out. But I cannot imagine how bad it hurts.
I say that. I mean, it bled, and then we followed the trail of blood into our bedroom. It was on a chair in our bedroom. I mean, I was expecting to find her half dead for all the blood loss there was, but
her spleen out. But no, it was just a nail. That's funny.
They probably talked about it the night before just to make sure, they figured that, it was one cat's turn to get all the love and affection that weekend. So they just, they just staged it. It really didn't hurt anything like you think. It's like we have a Rottweiler, 2 pit bulls, and a Akita. And every once in a while, you'll hear them sounding like it's a drop down battle. They're going to kill each other.
Yeah.
And my daughter-in-law will say, yeah, that's what they were going to do. And the next time it sounds 10 times worse. And I'll ask, they were just playing.
What's sad is that for the most case, I thought, she's 20. Okay. And I don't know where the hell she gets there at 20, because 20, I figured out makes her like 107 or 9 years old in human years, right? And now I'm at 64, and I have trouble getting out of bed. But she is gets so into it. They say never separate a cat fight. They say don't get involved in the cat. Nothing else, like cold water or something. Right. Because even like 5 minutes after, she actually separates from him. If I go to like I just now went down to get her, she will attack me. She's still in that damn attack mode. If I had $200, honest to God, I think I'd put her down, because of all the cats, she's the one that is causing the most problems. And look at her. She's like, oh, I'm a good girl. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just sitting
Let's see her face.
I'm just laying here sleeping. I'm a good girl.
She's getting a sun. No suntan.
Hey, I saw the American flag hanging up there. Is that the same one that when you're not on a broadcast, you turn it around and it's the Confederate flag?
I would tell you, I would love to have a Confederate flag, but somehow I have a Democrat, liberal, socialist daughter that lives with us, and when she heard me talking about it, she let me know what she thought about it. And it's like they say, I'm not married to her, but there's 2 women in the house, and of course my wife will side with her. Okay, so it's like I have to set up for the for thinking for one. I would love to have one because it's part of my heritage. But I had put a Confederate flag on my profile, about 6 or 8 months ago, and I got put in jail. I got put in jail for like 30 days because of it, because someone complained.
I want to have Melanie Smeltzer come on and sing the national anthem at the beginning of a broadcast, because I've seen video of her do it, and it's fantastic. I mean, if I could, I'd stand up through the whole thing. But I'm afraid if I do, they'll kill the broadcast. They'll delete every broadcast that was on Facebook. They'll knock me off of YouTube, and they'll probably. I have a meme that's a joke that says, "For doing something stupid, I got 300 years on 300 years in Facebook solitary jail, where I couldn't do anything." And people are talking about, it's like we are now. We're talking about all this crap that they do to us every day. I said to somebody, "Why are we all here still? I've been here for 15 years. It didn't start getting like this. I got on in 2009. It didn't start getting like it is now until 2016 when Trump won the election."
They're scared of him.
We are still here because, look at Fox News right now. They fired Tucker, and they're going into the tank with the amount of people watching the program. They got rid of what 6 conservative commentators.
Bongino and Tucker.
They have.
And then CNN got rid of Don Lemon. Oh.
But you know what? But now CNN wants to have that town hall with Trump. So they got the only person at CNN that I can see that should ever control any CNN broadcast with Trump on is Wolf Blitzer. Because Wolf, even if he's not a Trump supporter, which he probably isn't, but even if Wolf can be what's the word Wolf would control the town hall and still allow Trump to be what Trump is, how Trump is, and answer how Trump is going to answer or tell the truth, basically. But other than that, I don't see who.
Right.
I don't see who. And the thing, Fox decided to let Tucker go. From what I understand, they lost $80 million just by letting Tucker go.
Yeah, just in one day.
Yeah. And it was 80,000. Yeah, it was $80 million. So I don't know how long of a contract that was, but they lost $80 million. Glenn Beck has been saying for the last few weeks now, he was on the phone with Tucker all the time, because they know each other really well, trying to get Tucker to join the Blaze and do Blaze Media, do a show on Blaze Media. But I still I keep thinking to myself, Tucker, you got an $80 million a year advertising contract. You got a website. Do a live broadcast on your website. That $80 million is probably going to follow you there. All your buddies that left Fox, if they can, wherever they are, they're going to come join you.
That's what Megyn Kelly said too, because she went on her own. She said, "I'm not part of this anymore." I don't know if she left. Did she leave Fox, or was she?
She left Fox because didn't she say something stupid about Trump? And she was talking about back when Fox actually supported Trump. I think she came out talking stupid because Trump was really pissed off at her because she did the one debate, and she made an ass out of herself, and it pissed off Trump.
Yeah, she did.
She did.
And that's what killed her, as far as her.
Sebastian Gorka had it was a TikTok, but he had it posted on Facebook as a reel. It was a short thing where he said that he talked to Tucker, I guess, after Tucker left. And he said, basically, you earned getting fired because you gave them a contract that basically everything they didn't want you to do,
you did.
You did, and you gave them control of your broadcast. And I'm thinking,
no, he didn't.
No, wrong. My first paid thing in radio, the program director hated my guts, but the guy who owned the station wanted me there. So I said, this is all I want. This is how much you got to pay me because this is how much I want to get paid. And I want complete control without violating any FCC rules. I want complete control of what I do from 10 p.m. until 7 a.m. You got it. So, I mean, I could not imagine being on a network and me having to give the network control of my broadcast, control of what I do on my broadcast, because if I'm going to do that, might as well just stay here on Facebook. I got complete control of my broadcast, but if they don't like it, they spank me. YouTube, they suspend me. YouTube's been pretty good lately because just being on the YouTube channel and saying election fraud is generally enough, not even discussing it, or just saying election fraud used to be enough to give me a public suspension. Man. It usually takes them 6 months to go back and find it, and then that's when they suspend me.
Yeah, no, but by the way, back last year you said this.
We're gonna add Rumble.
Awesome.
That video,
the channel is already ready. I just couldn't get answers as to what it would cost for me to join Rumble. I finally got the answer. So over the weekend,
it's free, right?
No,
it's not free.
Supposedly it's $25 a month when you join, unless you have 25 subscribers or more. If you bring in 25 subscribers and you maintain 25 subscribers, then I hear it's free, and on top of that, they help monetize.
Oh.
But do you know different, Randy?
Well, no, I'd asked you before. You said about if it's free to you if you bring in 25 people, but those 25 people have to maintain their service with Rumble for a period of time in order for you to maintain your free status.
Well, Rumble's free.
Yeah, but you're saying it's $25 a month if you want to do,
No. I mean, it's $25 for me if I want to live stream. But from what I understand, once you get 25 subscribers, and it's free to be a Rumble subscriber. It's basically like a YouTube, like subscribing to my YouTube channel. It's free, but once you have 25 and you maintain 25. That's when Rumble starts to help you monetize by making sure more people on Rumble see your broadcast, and I guess whatever other places they can put it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a chance to do a lot of research on that. I only have just at this point in time, I have 2 paying clients, and I have a couple of them giving stuff away for free every now and then. I'm trying to bring on more people, but I had to buy new equipment in order for me to start doing live broadcasts and not having the streaming issues. Because whenever Jen and I tried doing something together, the streaming broke up and so forth. So I wound up having to increase my internet speed, plus buy a new computer, and that fixed the problem. So I got to bring on some more paying customers.
Right. Oh, no, I understand.
I advertise 3 hours per client per day, but then I find real interesting stuff on a particular client. It's like next I spend the entire day on that one person because I found out that like Beth McCord, she's related to me. Okay, it's like holy crap, so she and I are related.
You have to warn me before you say that name.
Oh, come on. She's awesome.
Beth is welcome to come on a broadcast anytime she wants, regardless of what she thinks of me, because she thinks as well of me off broadcast as she does on broadcast. And Beth is a fantastic person, and anytime if she sees that, actually she will see it if I put it in Americans for Free Speech, because she is she's an admin. I believe you're an admin. Eric Leon Barton is the founding admin. I became an admin right after he started it because we had another group. I forget. Eric had a group, and I had the Great American Nation group, and he decided that he didn't want to have that group anymore. He didn't want to be an admin anymore. So all I know is I went to bed, and I think there were like 200 members of the Great American Nation group. I woke up the next morning, there was like 1,200.
How does he know so many people? It's amazing.
I do have a couple people who are, making promises to come on board with me. One guy, his name is Donald Wisman.
I know Donald. Donald's a great guy. That's about all. That's about all I'm going to say about that because Donald does not like drama, and I exceeded the limit of drama that you're allowed.
And Donald, if you're watching, you tend to do that sometimes. But, I do. But Donald's family name changed. And I need to find out why, but I had to spend time.
I don't know what it was, but it was his mother. His mother is a Wisman. His mother is a Wisman.
Well, the family name is Severe, okay?
Yeah.
And
she remarried. That was his father. His name was changed to his father's name, I think. And then at some point, well, you know the story anyway because you looked it up. But I believe then I don't know if his stepfather passed away or there was a divorce. That part I don't know. But at some point, his mother went back to Wisman, and
I don't know why because that family back in the day, I'm sure they probably still have. I mean, they controlled almost an entire state. I mean, they were absolutely rich.
The Wismans or the other name?
The Severes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't remember the exact story, and unfortunately, because of drama that tends to follow me sometimes to a point where it's not fun anymore. And hey, anybody who can see the group, it does have a funny name, and conservatives and patriots ask me all the time why it had that name because they think it sounds like a Democrat name. It's Don't Walk, Run Away from the Democrat Party. It's a public group on Facebook, and if you can see it, join it. All I can say is, for lack of putting it better, is it's a little better group than my Boogie with a Bull Uncensored group, but basically the same thing. You come in and say whatever you want, you post whatever you want, and if you can see it, join it.
Yeah, but so I mean, it's I've said this before on many different broadcasts is that given enough time that we're almost all related back to some royal family, and in my little group of people I've worked with, almost every one of them has royalty going back to the Tudors, or the King Henrys, or other people like that. All I can say is they must have been screwing everybody back in the day and passing their gene around to have so many descendants.
I'm still waiting for the day like the movie King Ralph, where they come knock on my door one day to tell me that I'm like the king of Tanzania or something.
Nice.
Something like that,
Yeah.
But I couldn't handle being a king anyway.
Did you ever see that show, Secondhand Lions? I just love it. It's these two old guys. I think Robert Duvall's in there and someone else. And it's like placed in the 40s or 50s. And they take on this grandson because there's nowhere else to put him. Well, this woman, his mother is running off with this guy. So she gives the kid, who's probably about 10 or 12, to her great uncles, and all they do is it's called Secondhand Lions. It is awesome. These two old guys are sitting on the front porch all day, and they have their guns, and they're just waiting for a salesman to
Yes, I saw that. Yes,
it is awesome.
Is it somewhere that we're allowed to watch it?
I don't know, but it's totally good.
These two guys are on a friggin' porch. They're out in the middle of nowhere, and they got the rifles, just waiting for a salesman to come down their path to their house. And it is hilarious. I saw it.
I just joke about it being somewhere that you can watch because we're not supposed to watch Netflix for whatever reason. We're not supposed to watch Netflix, and we have it, and we watch some things on it. My mother watches everything on it, which is so.
And that's how you guys saw Lost.
So we
Doesn't
give it
it
to her.
feel like we're living in the same movie line as Lost? How they're plane crashes and they all live on this same island.
And then there was the other one, Manifest. Manifest came out of that storyline. Right. But so much of that a new one, there'll be an old one, then like 20 years later there'll be another one. There was Lost and there was Manifest. Now there's La Brea, which is I guess people that came up through a hole in the tar pits or something.
No. Someone in the future wants to created the ability to travel in time. And the machine that allows that is destroying a whole timeline with these earthquakes and where the ground separates and there's a big hole going in the ground. And so they're trying to fix what they did. So every so often, another hole is created by the time travel, and everything falls down inside. So it's people from our time frame falling down into like BC, back where the dinosaurs were, or so forth. So now you have this whole world of people from various times, periods of time living together or fighting each other to try and maintain being able to live and survive.
And I've said before on some.
It's a boring show. I don't. My wife likes. I can't stand it.
We hear something that will say that's happening now in 2023, and then we'll all scratch our heads for a second and say, well, wait a minute. Back in 2013, wasn't there a TV show about that?
Oh, right. That's what I was going to talk about today. I didn't get a chance to.
Go ahead.
Just how
you got. I'm not kicking you off. I'm just letting you know it's 2007.
Thanks. How non-creative Hollywood is, and how everything we're seeing today was already put out there for us to believe, just like you're talking about now. And this all started in the 40s with Edgar Hoover, who was put in charge of the FBI. He was like the first guy in charge of the FBI, and he was the one who was
a manly guy, a womanly guy too.
We're not going to talk about that. All I'm saying is this is when Operation Mockingbird started, and we're living it today. And we're like, why is everything repeating? How do we know about this? How does he? It's so stupid. And how Hollywood is just repeating the same movie over and over and over with a different name. Sometimes they use the same name. They did Mary Poppins twice, which was women fighting for women's suffrage, the right to vote. And so when I see this little weird man child taking over Bud Light, I'm like, no, you have no idea what we fought for. And you're just
he didn't take over. No.
He sunk it. He killed it. He did a great job.
I tell people the way I see it is he got paid $50,000 to kill it.
Kill feminism.
But AB InBev, the company that is Anheuser-Busch, had a $10 billion loss. But I proudly say, and I've been posting, that Bud Light drinkers are some of the most professional beer drinkers I ever know. Because every single one of them told me that they were going to continue buying Bud Light and drinking it until it came out in a woke can. Then they would.
Oh, and then they would stop.
Then they would stop. And my response to all these people now lately is, it never came out in a woke can. Why? And they go, what do you mean? Because the last Bud Light can that was released by Anheuser-Busch was Bud Light in the classic can.
White can.
Said Bud Light Classic on it. That's the last Bud Light beer can they made. And now Walmart, people are showing me pictures every day of Walmart or telling how Walmart is like 2 cases for the price of 1, 2 cases for the price of a 6-pack, only because they got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Their AB InBev distributor isn't going to buy it back from them because Anheuser-Busch doesn't want it back. So they're selling it. So I've been saying it to, like I said, my professional Bud Light drinker friends who are still drinking it. Now they're tickled pink because what were they doing? They were staking out when the Anheuser-Busch truck would get to their favorite package store, asking the driver before they went inside the store, "Are you delivering Bud Light?" And if the driver said yes, they would sit there and wait, because then they would go in and they would buy all the Bud Light that they could, and they did. And now you go to Walmart or any place that has it. Like I said, you can buy 2 cases for the cost of a can, because they just want to get rid of it. And what are you going to do? You're going to drink it until it's gone. Then when it's gone, I tell people, go buy. It was replaced, and the new brand is Busch Light. Take a Busch Light can, wrap it in black paper. Take a Bud Light can, wrap it in black paper. Mix them up, and have someone tell you. Have them drink it. I bet you they both say it tastes the same. And when you say, what does it taste like? Bud Light. Because I'm sure that's all they did. They took Bud Light, put it in
repackaged it,
and sent it out. Or I could be wrong, because the only other light beer that I know of that they own, they still own 2 brands of Miller. Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Light. So it could be.
No, Miller is Coors.
No, they
Miller,
bought
Busch, and Anheuser.
There were 2 companies, right? 2 companies came together. 2 companies came together. Molson Coors and SAB Miller came together. SAB Miller, which is part of Anheuser-Busch, owned the Miller Brewing Company and the Miller portfolio of beers. The only 2 they didn't sell were Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Light. If you go and look it up,
you must be a really good beer drinker and know all that stuff about beer.
No. I went through to look it up because people kept telling me, well, no, it's Miller, and it's owned by Miller Light is owned by Molson Coors. And so I spent about 4 hours one day reading everything I could, using Google and using Bing, because they're my 2 search engines. One of them is usually telling the truth. On this one, and on this one, they both agree. And like I said, it was Molson and Coors came together as Molson Coors, and then Molson Coors bought the Miller Brewing Company from SAB Miller, but SAB Miller kept Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Light. So the only reason I brought that was up that if you gave someone a Bud Light and a Busch Light, they would probably tell you they tasted the same. It could also be that Busch Light tastes like Miller Light, because maybe that's what they did. But I don't believe that they came up with a brand new light beer. They just took Bud Light and packaged it.
Repackaged.
So we know what happened with the Bud Light, but if I heard correctly, Jack Daniels also went woke with their product. So
they did.
So what kind of loss are they looking at?
I don't know. And the whole thing, before we have to wrap up, the whole thing, as far as I'm concerned, is that what what AB InBev, Anheuser-Busch, will never tell you because they probably don't have the numbers to prove it. Woke people were probably drinking Bud Light and were happy just buying it, going in and buying it. And it wasn't like the picture that you see of the guy wearing high heel shoes and thin jeans, walking in a T-shirt, looking quite womanly, someone dressed like in woke culture, walking in, to buy it. I mean, and it's going to be the same with Maybelline. And I even said, because Dylan, at one point, Dylan was an actor.
Yeah.
Actresses, everyone.
Dave, let me interrupt for a second.
Okay.
I don't think any of the women products are going to suffer in sales because he is portraying himself, like you said, he's an actor. We know he's a man, 100% man. And he feminized his face somehow.
He did. No, he says that he had transgender transgender feminine whatever it was surgery done to make a male face look like a female face. But I mean, there's all kinds of videos that he did that shows the progress.
Right. But that's beside. So the female products, I don't think are going to see a loss in income because let's face it, with what's going on with the transgenders in women's sports, and the women haven't raised up high enough or loud enough to put a stop to it.
Well, if it's the NCAA that launched us into this because they decided that a man can dress like a woman and play female sports, and that's transgendering as far as they're concerned, what I was saying was, no, if you're a man and you want to transgender, you're a bio man and you want to transgender to a female to play female sports, then fine. You have the full surgery done.
Yes, I agree.
You start on the hormones. And you have to take the hormones for 1 year because I'm sure there's a magic number where both sides of science have agreed that your brain thinks it's female and your body thinks it has become female. So say that number is 250%. Has to be in your body at any one time for you to officially have transgender. If guys had to do that, most of them that are either claiming that they have transgendered and have not done it, have no intention of doing it, wouldn't do it because it would mean that they would have to wait a year. And there's no guarantee because no two bodies are going to regulate the same, regardless of what the number is. If the number is 250, if the number is 250, Jen could take it and she could be at 250% in 2 days. You or I could be at 250 in 6 months. It might take 6 years for me to hit that number.
I can't stand this. It pisses me off. I don't care how many hormones these men are taking. I don't care how many years you've been taking it. You were born a male. Your body's freaking producing.
Right.
I'm not done. Testosterone. Their lungs are bigger. Their muscles are bigger. Their wingspan is bigger. I am mad. These girls have trained their whole life.
Riley Gaines to follow
their dream, and they got it stolen by a pansy.
Yeah.
Who thinks?
Right.
Because he's a failed male athlete.
Like Randy said, the companies like Maybelline and their parent company L'Oreal, they're not going to lose. And the reason they're not going to lose is, let's take it from Dylan. Dylan was an actor. Dylan has to wear makeup for different roles that he may be portraying. Males are actors. If they got to use makeup for things. If they like Maybelline because it works the best for I know they have a hypoallergenic line, I believe.
And how do you know that, Dave?
No. I believe that some of their products used to be advertised as being hypoallergenic because
right.
I wouldn't know. I mean,
I know.
I did radio, so I didn't have to wear makeup, Randy. So it really didn't matter. And when in high school, when I did drama, I wore as little makeup as I could wear because my face would break out. The worst reviews I would get from the drama instructor was they couldn't see my face. They just saw a big thing of light, and I would say, because
I didn't wear makeup.
I agree with Jen. You know, the guys who are going into women's sports are because they can't succeed in male-oriented sports, and they want to, and they want to take, and say they're female. And I understand what you're saying too, as far as being on the drugs for a year. But do we know scientifically yet?
No, we don't.
If a man is on the women's drugs to transform, does he lose his, like Jen's saying, does he lose the muscle mass? Does he lose the masculine part where he becomes more feminine?
I can't say yes or no, but the person who would know whether or not she'd do a broadcast and discuss it with us is Melanie, because Melanie's a biochemist. Forensic DNA knows all about all of this kind of stuff. I don't know if she would do a broadcast with us to answer those questions. But like I said, to try to end the argument with people, I started saying, well, I should be of the persuasion, I guess, that if you were born a man, you're always a man. But I tried to get past that for sake of having this discussion on my broadcast with people, and started saying, well, okay, a guy wants to change to being a girl. There's some surgery that you have to have done, and there's hormonal therapy that you take, because I guess instead of your body producing testosterone, your body needs to start producing estrogen.
And it can't. Well, it may produce a little. But...
Okay, right. So then to continue to stomach the conversation, I started saying to people, rather than, no, I don't want to discuss this, I'm going to kick you off your camera, there's your Boogie with a Bull blowout for you.
Have a mug. Yeah, bye.
Yeah. Make sure when you walk away from the camera, the mug doesn't hit you on the back of the head. But here's the Boogie with a Bull mug on the broadcast.
That's funny.
But it was, let's take this from Dylan's point of view. Then there has to be a point in a transgender's mind when the transgendering has been completed. Then I took that one different. The hormone replacement therapy, you have to take it for so long before it starts working. So I said, okay, let's say that both sides of science agree that a biologically born male can convert to female parts and start being a female, provided so much estrogen is in their system and it's working that way. They start losing male muscle mass. They start developing female muscle mass. If there is a percentage if there's an amount of a level of estrogen that has to be in your body through hormone replacement surgery, then you have to wait until you hit that. But it was like Randy said, my point is say that magic number is 250 has to be in you all the time. You have to wait until that 250 is in you. Most guys, I think, that are just thinking they can dress like a female and play female sports, if you tell them, no, you have to have what might be $100,000 worth of surgery done to your body, your costume has to change, and you have to take this. You have to take this anyway. You have to take it until so much of it is in your system. Most guys are going to say, no, they're not going to do it. Because if you're so bad that you can't make the male's basketball team, and you think the only way you're going to be able to play basketball is as a girl, but you think you're a guy who can dress like a girl, it's not going to happen. So if you want to convert and be a girl, then science, medical science, both sides, those that agree with it, those that don't, have to have a happy medium. And it was more like I said, I just figured that if you said to a quarterback who just got cut and wants to play Powerpuff football
right
in college, you got to wait a year. You got to do all this stuff and wait a year. It would be the same way if a girl who was so good she could be an NFL quarterback, but couldn't get into the NFL draft because she's a girl, decided she wanted to do the opposite. It would be the same thing.
Wow. I don't know. I just get mad. You saw the result between Riley and Leah Thompson. He was freaking big. He was over 6 feet tall. You know, his lungs were like the size of his head.
The Adam's apple. This, that, and the other. And the other thing that I said to someone this morning, Dylan.
The weird man.
Dylan Mulvaney. No. Dylan Mulvaney is the person's name. Dylan has a Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan's Facebook page is growing usually by like 100 members a week. Dylan hasn't posted anything on that Facebook page since April 2nd.
Oh, I hope he feels bad. I hope he feels
no.
Because he is.
I'm sure Dylan is not on Facebook and reachable from Facebook because broadcasters like me would want to say, hey, Dylan. No, I just would, hey, Dylan. I understand what I think you want to be, but it's something that I don't understand. So let's come on. I'm not going to yell at you and
we won't have Jen on because she will kill you. Yeah.
No. Really. It'd be, hey, Dylan, I have people on all the time who I don't like or don't like me, or I go on other broadcasts. It's the same way, and I yell and scream and they yell and scream at me. But no, we'll have a civil conversation where
that's good.
I always say to people, we have 8 cameras. So it's me and 3 others and you and 3 others. And everybody agrees to disagree going into it, but everybody gets to speak calmly and rationally.
That's nice.
Because what I was trying to say about Dylan, what bothers me about Dylan is Dylan's over on TikTok making all kinds of money to do what Dylan is doing over on TikTok. Hasn't posted any of it on Facebook since April 2nd. And I bet if you pool Facebook for the most talked about topic since April 2nd, it's probably Dylan.
And that's the sad thing. I say that on Twitter, and then it's 7:00, Jen.
Yep.
And
I gotta go.
Yeah,
but
you gotta go. Randy's gotta go, and I might pop over because
Randy has one last word.
Is that people like Dylan and others like him or her or whatever you want to call them?
I just say them. I just say they. Or pronoun.
If the conservatives and the people on the right are fed up with them, stop reposting their damn videos. See how fast they go away.
No one's posting. To the best of my knowledge, no one is posting Dylan's videos.
But they are, because you get that video and you get the comments and then people retweet it so someone else can make comments, and every time you retweet it, you're redoing this damn video.
No one in my groups has posted. Not that I would remove it or any admin or moderator would remove it. No one's posted anything about Dylan, except me maybe writing a blogatorial that says, why this is wrong. I don't want to keep you if you're going to go over to. We started late. We started at 5:30, but if you were going to go over there tonight too, don't you be late.
Yeah, that's where I'm headed. I'd eat and I'll go there. See ya.
But usually by the time I close Boogie down, as people know. By the time I get over there, it's too late for me to come on anyway. But hey, it's always great to have Jen and Randy on a Friday Free for All. Randy Rhodes and I think, are going to start. I'm going to try to see if Randy wants to regroup the 10 a.m. Boogies that we used to do. I see William Rayfield is in the house, and if we were going to continue, I would have. If you come in earlier, Ray, I would have brought you on. But and I look forward to you and me and Randy doing our broadcast with you and your broadcast with us. And Mac McGregor, you're always welcome to come in because Georgia boys know everything and they know the right way to do things. And for those of you who don't know, Mac McGregor is up for re-election as the Lieutenant Governor of Georgia in 2026, I believe. I don't know. I haven't heard yet if Jonathan Garcia is running for re-election as governor. So pay attention to that. Mac is a great guy, and like I said, he's welcome anytime. William, Ray, you're always welcome. Danny Campbell's watched more Boogie with the Bull broadcast than any broadcast in the history of Boogie with the Bull, and now Danny watches a lot of other things. So, Danny, you should be downstairs at the American Rebellion right now, too, because they started a minute ago. The American Rebellion, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes they go a little bit later. Conversation just like we had here. Everybody gets a chance to talk. Kind of a round table, and they move from topic to topic to topic. Politics does get involved sometimes, but it's not always the topics are not always only political. And on the broadcast, everybody agrees to disagree. Not everybody's going to agree. Sometimes everybody does. Sometimes nobody does. But they allow you to be yourself. There is a live chat, and Jerry does post comments from the live chat all the time. It's downstairs on the American Rebellion blogger page and somewhere over on Rumble. I don't know the Rumble channel link, but it's the American Rebellion Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern here on Facebook. You should watch it. William Rayfield usually pops on around 10 o'clock in the morning on weekdays, but basically you'll get a note if you go to the William Rayfield page. The profile picture is usually Ray and his wife, or just Ray, or Ray and his wife, or sometimes Ray and his brothers, who I thought were his sons, but so that you're on the right one. You'll see his broadcasts are posted on his page too. So become his friend, and that way you'll get a notification when he goes live. Another way is there are two private groups on Facebook, the Patriots Lab and the Patriots Lab Uncensored. Join both, and then when he goes on live, he's usually doing it live in one of the two groups. You can watch it there. Ted Hutchison is watching. Walt Coons is watching. Mike Grant, again, a certified weapons dealer and instructor in Dublin, California. You can go to the Mike Grant Facebook page. Like I said, it's a classic old Galaxy 500 that used to be the unmarked police cruisers back then. And Mike is holding what looks like, I'm guessing, a Dirty Harry Special revolver. Looks like it's kind of resting between the rear view mirror and the side of the car. But Mike's a great guy. Mike wanted you all to know that it will not be safe to go to San Francisco this weekend because the hospitals in Yuma are overrun with illegals and are not getting paid, and the hospitals are going broke. So you might want to avoid San Francisco this weekend if you need any kind of medical care. I think you should avoid San Francisco in general because I've said it before and I say it again, I could be wrong, but now that Nancy Pelosi is just a representative and not the speaker anymore, and Dianne Feinstein, who is probably one of the oldest senators in the Senate, who's been there probably as long as some of the oldest, is ready to retire. And I believe what will happen is that Representative Pelosi will resign. Actually, maybe she won't resign, but she'll just sit there. And if Senator Feinstein decides to leave before the 2024 Senate elections, then because Nancy Pelosi's son Gavin, or excuse me, nephew Gavin is the Democrat governor, he could in fact replace Senator Feinstein with Senator Pelosi, and then you watch. Doesn't matter who wins. When Trump is president in 2024, we hope he will keep the House. We hope he will get the Senate. But if he doesn't get the Senate and Senator Pelosi is there, give it up, Chuck. You won't be back. And I believe that they will elect Nancy Pelosi, Senate Majority Leader. And, unfortunately, the Senate has to wait for the House to bring up articles of impeachment. And if we have a Republican House, I don't think they will see articles of impeachment on President Trump. And it won't escape Senator Pelosi or Senate Majority Leader Pelosi from her action and a whole bunch of things during the time that she was Speaker of the House of Representatives. And I believe at some point that's going to probably hit the fan. I mean, I'm hoping that we keep the House in 2024. We are back at the White House with President Trump, and we keep the Senate, or we take the Senate back. I don't believe that a rhino like McConnell will continue. I think I could see maybe Ted Cruz becoming Senate Majority Leader if he stays there. I could see Ted Cruz maybe moving up and becoming Attorney General. I could see Representative Jim Jordan coming up as Attorney General, but we can discuss all that later. But anyway, stay out of San Francisco, okay? Really. I guess if you're in the area, yeah, you should go through San Francisco. If the tours to Alcatraz Island are still going on, you should do that. If it's a nice day, walk around Fisherman's Wharf. I mean, there's beautiful things to see. But other than that, I really wouldn't stay in San Francisco any longer than you had to. So that pretty much covers everybody who's watching. Catherine Vane is watching. I don't know. I don't yet understand when it says is watching, because it doesn't tell me where you're watching. It just says that you're watching. So you could be watching on my profile. You could be watching in the Boogie with the Bull Uncensored Public group. We didn't do any sharing yet. People watching may have shared it. So you could be watching just about anywhere. And I am glad that you do. I hope that you will share the broadcast, or did share the broadcast while it was on, wherever you can share it. Yes, you can take it off of Facebook and share it off of Facebook if that's what you want to do. But if you want to take it and share it off of Facebook, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free, Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. And take the broadcast from the YouTube channel and share it anywhere you want to share it. It helps grow the YouTube channel, and they censor at times just as bad as Facebook censors. But I'd rather, if you're going to take it and share it off of Facebook somewhere, at least let YouTube be the place where you take it off of Facebook and share it. But share it all over Facebook, everywhere you think it should be, and we will continue to live well and prosper. That's the new keywords these days: live well and prosper. So let's see. All right, it's 7:10. So we did our time. We did start late. We were supposed to start at 5. We started at 5:30. Next Boogie with the Bull, possibly tomorrow morning, something in the 10 o'clock hour. If it does happen, it can go till as late as noon, or we have 2 hours that we use. I haven't yet decided if I'm going to do one. If you have an interest in being on one tomorrow, general panel discussion like we had today with Randy and Jen, 8 of us can be there. So me and 7 other people. And if you want, let me know that you're interested. Message me tonight and let me know. You got to let me know by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, because I start putting it together at 9. About 9:15, I whip up the studio and get it ready. And then at 9:45, I like to have everybody in the studio. That's Eastern time, so adjust your clock accordingly. 9:45. We're all here together. We all go on as one. Yes, I understand that not everybody can be here at 10 o'clock when we go, but some people can be here at 10:15. So yeah, that's okay. But I like to know who's going to be coming and try to get us all to come on together, and then leave as people have to go. Let me see something before I go. Okay, I'm going to read somebody's comment. Only because it came in as Facebook user. So if you're still listening and you hear me say Buffalo Trace bourbon is my favorite anyway, that was probably in reference to Randy's comment that Jack Daniels went woke. And Facebook user also said PBR Pabst Blue Ribbon is what's on the menu for me from now on. Okay. Personally, the official brew, I can't call it beer because it's a malt liquor. The official brew of Boogie with the Bull is in fact Schlitz malt liquor. One of these days I'll dig the CD out of the car and slap it into a CD player and you can hear the song. It's actually a song that Cokie Malone wrote back sometime in the 80s. I know because I played it on college radio from 1980 to 1984 when I was there. And it was written to enter to win $1 million by writing a jingle for Schlitz malt liquor. When Cokie wrote the song and he entered it, he didn't find out until, I guess, he was going to be the winner of the $1 million, and he had to sign the song over to them in exchange for the $1 million, and he didn't want to do that. I don't really know. I don't believe, knowing Cokie, I just don't believe that it would have been something that he wanted to do. His songs and the band, the Malones, were like his children. They were all brothers and cousins. So I don't know, but one of these days I'll bring it in and play it. And the only Anheuser-Busch brand that gets mentioned in the song is Beck's. There's a line in the song that says, "I don't care about San Miguel, Lowbrow, Heineken, Beck's as well." And I have Cokie's permission, because if you ask him, I own the song with him. I changed it to, "I don't care about San Miguel, Heineken, Lowbrow, Heineken in a can, and Beck's can all go to hell." But I'm not a beer drinker anyway. But so in the beer wars of what you're drinking, Boogie with the Bull is an ode to Schlitz malt liquor, but I'm not a beer drinker, so you drink what you want to drink. And like I said, most of my professional Bud Light drinking friends were buying up all the Bud Light they could buy that wasn't in a woke can, with plans to drink it until it went into a woke can, or until the only can available was the woke can. And now that it's not, it didn't go woke, it went to sleep. You hear, like I said, people seem to be reporting at Walmart, if you can still see it, that it's buy one, get one free, and the price is going even lower just because they just want to get it off the shelf. So, it didn't go woke, it did go broke, but, if you like it, I'd say you won. You won only because they went broke and they shut it down, but you can buy up whatever you can and keep it as long as you can and drink it as long as you can. So I thought it was going to be the other way around. I just figured as the cans got scarcer and scarcer and scarcer, they would probably raise the price on it. But they just want to get rid of it. And Maybelline, like Randy said, I started to say, actors use makeup. And I don't care if you're a man or a woman, you usually find a line of makeup that works with you, or a makeup person that you like, that works with you and uses a brand of makeup that you want them to use. So, people are still going to buy Maybelline, I think. And even if they don't, then and L'Oreal has to take the brand out of business. That's terrible. Because what I will say is America was never meant to be a country where you could pay someone $50,000 to knock a company out of business. Because I believe, like we said, that, women are going to buy Maybelline if it's what they like, regardless of who else uses Maybelline. They're going to buy Maybelline because they like Maybelline, and that's what they're going to use. And it's just sad that this is part of Dylan's woke culture. That if a brand won't acknowledge that they sell woke products or package woke products, the same product to woke people, they're going to get you out of business. Because it made me think, if I was still in the limousine business and people asked me, do you have woke customers? And I would say, what difference does it make? And they'd say, because we need a limousine that has never had a woke party in it. And I would have said, well, in that case, I don't need you as a customer. And to me, the whole thing is just, I'm not, the whole thing is just crazy. Like I said, America has embraced one human being and pays that human being $50,000 to prove what is already going on in America. Maybelline has been selling to woke people the same time they've been selling to the rest of America. Bud Light was probably selling to woke people the same time that they were selling to non-woke people. And it's just sad that it's sad. And, if you really want to find out how woke culture and the Bud Light go woke or go broke thing will cost you, we talk about BlackRock Vanguard and how they own a piece or just about every business in the United States of America, the big ones. They own something like 360,000 shares of Bud Light, worth something like $16 billion. Maybe. What happens to that? They're not going to lose it. I'm sure they'll just be converted to shares of some other AB InBev brand, or maybe they'll just take their $16 billion and cash out, because if they, if the shares didn't cost them anywhere near $16 billion, they made a profit. They'll go put it into someplace else. And if they do that, I hope they will put it into Maybelline, because I don't think L'Oreal is going to shut down Maybelline just because it's not in a package that says Maybelline woke. Anyway, I'm Dave Blue, and you're not. Thank you for watching Boogie with the Bull. This is the time where I tell you that Boogie with the Bull is a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. We own the name. We own the logo. We even own these beautiful Boogie with the Bull coffee mugs. It has the Boogie with the Bull label on both sides. Matter of fact, you can be on the political left, hold it in your left hand while you are enjoying a Boogie with the Bull broadcast, or you can be on the right and hold it in your right hand. There's a logo on both sides. And they are a 12-ounce mug for $12.95 plus shipping. And the 15-ounce, which I just showed, is $15.95 plus shipping. And we do not make any money off them. Okay? We had a chance to make a small amount. No, I decided I don't want to do that. We will donate If I do, we will donate. I think it's $2.50. I think we'll donate the $2.50 to charities you know of on Facebook and we know of on Facebook. And we'll donate it to them. Same thing with the stars. If we broadcast a Boogie with the Bull broadcast on the Boogie with the Bull page where you can buy stars, we get, I don't know what you buy them for, but every time Facebook owes me my cut, it has to be a minimum of $25. They will send me the $25. That $25 will probably be donated as well. Because personally, I don't think you should have to buy stars. That's why I very rarely use the Boogie with the Bull page for broadcast anymore. I think you should just have a right to post your comment. Whether or not it gets acknowledged in the broadcast, you should have a right to post your comment and speak for you in the broadcast. If not, be on camera and speak. That's who we are. That's what we do. Anyway, I'm Dave Wilman. You're not. Hey, it was a pleasure being here. The Friday free-for-all is generally 5 o'clock to 6:30. And it's usually Jen Woodruff and I and a few other people. Hopefully Randy Rhodes will be with us from now on. And other people are invited. Or if you are ever watching and you want to be on, and you can get a link on Messenger, then I will send you the link through Messenger. I tell you, don't watch it while you're live on a broadcast on the same device. Otherwise, you will notice the delay between StreamYard and the live stream on Facebook, and sometimes that's a bit confusing. But anyway, we'll figure all that out. If you want to be on Boogie with the Bull Uncensored Saturday, it'll run at 10 o'clock Eastern and go no later than 12 noon. If you want to be on it, message me. And like I said, the max can be me and 7 other people. If there are more than the 7 other people, then we may have to shift people around so that everybody gets a chance to be on. It's never really happened, but if it does, we'll figure out a way to deal with it. Anyway, thank you. Live well, prosper, and we will see you next on the next Boogie with the Bull. Double beans for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is coming to an end. One more time. Double beans for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is coming to an end right now.